More than 7,000 people are now confirmed dead in Nepal, but officials warn the final death toll could be much higher. This hour, we're live in Kathmandu as rescue efforts continue 1 week after the devastating earthquake. Also ahead, with more death and destruction in Syria, we ask if Bashar al-Assad's grip on the country has reached a crucial new low. Plus, 5 years of preparations, millions of dollars in prize money and an audience spanning the globe. But did the so-called fight of the century live up to expectations?
This is the hour we connect the world.
We begin in quake-stricken Nepal with an incredible tale of survival. Authorities tell CNN a 101-year-old man has been pulled from the rubble a week after disaster struck. The news comes as hopes for finding more survivors dwindles. The death toll now tops 7,200, and a government minister warns that number will rise much higher. Officials say 300,000 homes were destroyed, but some villages that were flattened have yet to be reached, and millions of people desperately need food and shelter. Let's get the very latest now. Our Sumnima Udas joins us live from Nepal's devastated capital. And Sumnima, incredibly, 8 days after the quake, another survivor pulled from the rubble, and he's not a young man by any stretch of the imagination.
That's right. He's 101 years old. That's what the armed police force here is saying. And he was actually found in the rubble, rescued from the rubble on Saturday in his village home, not too far from Kathmandu. And he's amazingly and currently in hospital in good condition. And when the police spoke to him, he said he doesn't really know how he survived. But this follows a series of miraculous recoveries from the rubble, really. After 5 days, there was a teenager, the 15-year-old, there was a 25-year-old woman, there was that baby as well. So all of these, what people here are describing as miracle survivors is really boosting much-needed hope here that there could be more. And currently, the government is still very much calling this a search and rescue mission, even though the Disaster Management Committee here has recommended that the government call the search and rescue efforts off and move on to the rehabilitation phase. Lynda?
And survivors there obviously very desperate for aid. We're hearing that some of that aid is being held up by customs, and some can't even be delivered because large planes can no longer land at the international airport. Is that what you're hearing?
That's what the local reports are saying, that the large planes cannot land in the runway because of some sort of damage. That has not been confirmed to us by any of the authorities yet. So we'll get back to you once we have more clarity on that. But as far as the customs is concerned, yes, that's right. The UN is saying that aid is being held up at customs because the clearance process is just taking too long. Initially, the government even had a duty on aid, on all the relief aid. That's been lifted now, but still, the government says they need to check through everything before they clear it, and that's taking a long time. The supplies is really stocking up at the airport, and people, of course, are getting increasingly frustrated, desperate. People see and hear about all the aid that is coming in, but it's still not reaching a lot of people, especially the ones who need it most out in the villages.
And Sumnima, for the aid that has arrived, there has been some criticism about the type of aid. The finance minister there saying they don't need fish and they don't need mayonnaise, they need grains and salt and sugar. What else is needed?
So, I mean, the government here is very thankful for the aid coming in, but the Minister of Finance here did point out that a lot of it is not suitable, like tuna fish, like mayonnaise, really something that villagers of Nepal would not associate with, and a lot of them have to walk for days to come down to pick up their little package of aid, and when they get something like mayonnaise, that could upset them. So that's not really the most suitable and appropriate form of aid. What the government is saying Nepal needs right now are tents. They need about 400,000 tents. In many villages, 90% of the homes are flattened. With the monsoons coming in a few months, tents are the most needed. Also, helicopters is what the government is saying Nepal needs right now. They've only got 20 of them between India and Nepal. Those 20 of them going back and forth all day. Most of the aid needs to go to rural parts of Nepal, so that's what it's these helicopters that are being used, but clearly there's not enough.
Well, we urge everyone to donate. Sumnima Udas, thank you very much for your reporting. We'll talk to you soon.